So on the next topic, moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about college because Bryan is entering college.
Yep.
Yep. So
finally.
yes, congrats, Bryan, entering college, and it's going to be exciting times. Do you have any specific thoughts about college? Are you what are you most excited about?
Well, first of all, I'm mostly excited about like the flexible class timings.
That's always good, yeah.
So like instead of having like 6 hours of class every day in the beginning, like high school, I get to choose which time I want, and like go to it. Like wake up at a certain time, drive up there,
Yeah.
and like have time to do my own thing instead of being stuck to each class, and like doing like the same thing like almost every day.
Yeah.
So for college, I can like go to the gym over there because they provide like a free gym pass.
Oh, that's good. That's really
so
good.
there's like free swimming, free workouts, free like sports in general. That's what I really like about that, and just basically meeting new people. Like going to a new environment, because college is a big step for like finding a job and stuff like that in the future.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, what was David Douglas's high school population? Do you remember?
About 3,500.
So 3,500. So his high school is about 3,500, and the college he's going to, I think that it's 21,000 students.
Yeah.
The population.
About that,
So
yes.
it's like a huge.
That's super big.
Yeah. So it's a huge jump. And like just having that much, that much more people is going to be, you're going to meet a lot of people, a lot of different people. So that's super exciting. Different backgrounds and all of that stuff. What are one things that you're kind of nervous about going into?
Well, I'm most nervous about like transportation.
Yeah.
And basically, because from where I live to the school, it's about like a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
Without traffic. But usually the time where my classes start, there's usually like traffic jams.
Right.
So I'm not really entirely sure about like when to leave,
Right.
where to park,
Yeah.
like when should I like get ready to go to class.
Yeah.
So that's probably like what I'm most nervous about.
Okay, but nothing about any of the classes.
Not really,
nothing?
no, not really.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really sure like what to expect because it's all new to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like basically excited to like get there and get the work done and everything.
Yeah.
What about you? What were you most?
What am I excited about going to college?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
back to college. All right, guys.
What were you most
Yeah.
excited about going to college when you had that experience?
10
10 years ago.
Oh dang, yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been in college. I think the most excitement is just moving away from home. For me, like,
Right.
I don't know. It's just like, just being at home. You have to like kind of like listen to your parents, and you have to be home a certain time and all of that stuff. And I kind of wanted that independence. So moving away and just having my freedom to do whatever I wanted to do without anyone saying like, oh, you need to be home at this time, all that time. That was my most excited thing to go to college. Because I moved away. I moved away. It was like 2 hours away. So it was like close enough to come home, but far enough so they can't go back and forth at a whim.
Yeah.
Type of deal. So that was kind of my most exciting.
That's something
thing
I
about
wanted to do, but I
Yeah.
also was thinking about money.
That's
Like,
true too.
you gotta
Yeah,
save
money is the thing. Yeah.
So I was like, I'd rather just stay home and just focus on school instead of like my own independence.
Yeah, definitely. There's pros
I
and
can,
cons of that.
Yeah, because I can focus on independence after finishing college.
Right.
And start finding like a career.
Yep.
And then living my life after that.
That's true too. That's
Yeah,
very, very true.
when I went to college, I had a situation similar to what Bryan did, because in Colombia people don't move away from college, and our city is the main city, so the best schools are within our city. So I just after class I would just go home, and it was very convenient. You live there, you have the food,
Yeah. Arepas.
the comfort,
Yeah.
the comfort from your house, and yeah. And the thing that I was most excited about was just like kind of meeting more people and just being in a new environment.
Yeah.
I don't remember well. No.
Yeah. So since we've both been in college, Bryan, do you have any like specific questions you want to ask? Like, it could be really anything. It could be like what classes we took to like
What's
how
your
many parties we went
major?
to. What's your major? Like all of that stuff. It could be really. It could really be open ended.
Do you guys remember like after high school like do you guys remember the feeling you guys had like entering college? Like, were you guys like felt? Did you guys
Like
feel
the
like nervous?
exact day, like the first day of school.
Well,
college,
no,
right?
like before school started. Like, did you guys
Okay.
feel nervous going into school?
Mm.
I think the thing that I was more nervous about was just like my major, because I did want to study like social sciences, but I wasn't sure about economics, so I was kind of a little afraid of being committed to that major, that it was kind of hard. So I was like, when I started taking those classes of math, it was a little discouraging in the beginning. So I was like, yeah, I was more afraid of that. And I felt that a lot of people were already very prepared, even in the first semester of school. People already was very good at math and things like that. So I felt a little insecure about that.
Yeah, I think it's
Just
the
like
same thing.
confusion, basically.
Yeah, I think the same thing with me. It's like I didn't really know what I wanted for my major, so I just really picked a random one. I went on the computer and I scrolled through all of the majors, and then I just closed my eyes and just like scrolled through it.
That's
And
how you
then-
pick your major?
Yeah, that's how I picked the major.
Don't
And
do
then
that, kids.
Yeah, so I picked the major, but I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not.
What was your first major?
It was bioengineering. So
That sounds difficult.
So one of my things for you, Brian, is like, don't be afraid if you don't really like your major, just switch it. You don't want to be stuck in something you really don't want to do. So after my first year in bioengineering, I changed it right away because I knew I didn't like math.
But like when you change your major, isn't it like you waste money for a whole year, or like the money you spent on the classes?
Well, especially for freshman year, most of the classes are similar. They're very the same. So like if you the core classes. So if you change, it's not gonna.
Yeah, they told me
impact
like
that much.
if I did want to change my major, they'd recommend changing like my major in the same field instead of changing completely to something else.
Right.
So that would like make the classes more like the same.
Yeah.
But even if you do that, it's better to change it radically, when you're early.
Than being stuck in something you don't want to do.
Then ended up being in I don't know, electrician or whatever, and don't like what you do,
Yeah.
So you're gonna be frustrated and you're not gonna like it,
Yeah, exactly.
So if you wanna do whatever you want, just go for it.
I've changed my major like twice already.
No, that's totally fine. Like I said, it's totally
Yeah.
You
fine.
haven't started.
Yeah, you haven't even started.
I haven't started yet.
Yeah.
But I'm
What
pretty
was
sure.
your first?
My first choice was criminology and criminal justice.
I think that was super cool. When
Yeah.
Russell told me
Yeah.
about it, I was like, whoa.
I was thinking about doing that, but then like.
What changed your mind?
Well, first of all, my parents didn't want me to do that.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about like the future, saying like, do I really want to become like somewhere in that kind of field as well?
Yeah.
But then I also was thinking like other things, like what I wanted to do, because I really like computer work and stuff like that.
Right.
So also I was like thinking about either between criminology and criminal justice or computer science. But then computer science, it was more like programming stuff. I wanted to do more like creativity stuff, like drawing or like creating like designs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was leaning more towards graphic design, and I left the criminology and criminal justice field like completely.
Dismissed.
Yeah. So I'm sticking with graphic design for now.
Yeah.
Until maybe in the future I might possibly change to something else, but I'm not.
Yeah. Don't hesitate. And also like fun fact as well is like most people that graduate from college don't even go to the same field as they graduated.
Yeah.
So like everything changes. Everything can change.
I
think that's like the
it would
biggest.
be ideal.
It would be ideal. I'm not saying it isn't, but if you
well-
do choose a different job that's not your major, then there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Whatever works for you in the future is
Yeah.
a good choice.
Yeah, because I think in the past, people are like, you got to stick with the same thing throughout your entire life. I think now in the future, in the present, it's more like, adjust to what you need to do. Same thing with the work of field and what you're working in. Like our parents like worked for like 20 years, 15 years in the same field. Now it's like, especially with tech companies, people transition all the time. They only stay there for 3 years, move on to the next company. Stay for 2 years, move on to the next company. So, it's like, it's very, very different, and it's just, if you do it, you do it, and don't be loyal to one thing, that's what I say. So for me, it's just like, do what you do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions? It can be anything.
What was your favorite subject at school?
Ballroom dancing. Seriously.
anything?
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so yoga actually was my favorite. And the reason why it was my favorite was because I took it at the very end of the day of all my classes at the very end of the week. So on Friday afternoon, I would take the yoga class. And I got the best GPA during that
In
term.
yoga?
No. For overall, I got the best GPA out of the entire term for all my classes, and the reason is because I was more relaxed. Because you get stressed out during the week, all that stuff. Yoga like just helps you just like
Yeah, I
just
think
release that energy. And
I
stuff
think
like
I
that.
remember like when you came home to visit from your college, right?
Yeah.
I remember you like showing me like, oh, I learned some cool yoga moves. You should try it with me. And we always do in the living room. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, taking
like yoga
classes
too.
taking classes like that will help, balance out with all the other hard, classes that you're going to take. So I actually enjoyed yoga a lot.
So my favorite class was called Public Policy.
Ooh.
And this was a subject that I took in another school because like we have like agreements with other colleges, so we were able to take classes in other places. So I did that, and it was really fun. I met new people and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And it was very challenging. It was in my last semesters. The classes at the beginning I didn't like too much, but after everything started to make more sense. Oh, this is how I can apply these things to the real world. So I like that.
Nice. How about what do you think was your worst class that you had?
I had a lot of them.
Probably like the core classes like math
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
think math. That was really bad at math.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I had a class. It wasn't my worst class because I didn't like it. It was my worst class because I forgot about it. And I told Bryan about this. I took a class that I totally forgot.
What was the name of it?
I don't remember what it was. It was like
yoga?
no, it was math, but it was like to help like with another class. And I joined it, but I forgot. I totally forgot it throughout my entire term about the class, and of course I got a no pass on the class because I got at the end of the term and I was like looking at all my grades and I was like, what is this class I took? And I totally forgot that I took that class. So it was kind of my worst class because I forgot.
It was like distraction basically.
Yeah, I was very distracted. So yeah, so I think having a calendar and just having it in your classes, just like Google Calendar, will help because you can always set reminders and stuff like that.
Yeah, for me, the worst class was German.
What?
Because I thought it was gonna be easier.
Yeah.
And it was so difficult.
Yeah.
And I think the professor was very strict, so it was just hard. I learned a few things, but it was definitely hard for me.
Yeah. That was nice. Anything else, Bryan? Anything else it for now?
I'm also kind of worried about like how do you guys like pay for school because I
Mm.
know it all adds up in the end.
Well, I'm still paying for school.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah. I mean, I say this to everybody again. Take out the least amount of loans as possible. You will be paying them back later. But take as much as you need, not as much as they will give you.
Yes, and
'Cause they
sign
will
up
give you a lot
for
more.
many scholarships to pay for it.
Scholarships. Scholarships is number one. Like you have to do that because you will need put in time and energy now writing out the scholarships.
But it'll
But in the end,
help in the end.
yeah, in the end, you won't ever pay those back.
Did you ever apply for any scholarships?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Unfortunately, I since I was the very first one, especially
true
with my
too.
mom. My mom didn't know anything, and we got actually scandal. Like
No, I remember
we got
you
a
told
scandal out of it. Like they were, we went to this
A
thing.
scandal?
Yeah, they were promoting
Scam.
scam. Yeah, that's what I meant. Scam. They were scamming us, and it's a scandal too. But they were scamming us about scholarships, and they were saying that if you pay us like $1,000, we'll look for scholarships for you to apply to. And of course, we were the very first ones. My mom didn't know anything, so she paid them $1,000.
$1,000?
Yeah, and then they never really sent us anything in
They
regards
just
to
took it and
scholarships. Yeah. Well, then my mom, she sued them and then got
Yeah,
the
of
money
course.
back.
Okay, that's
You know,
good.
yeah.
At least.
So yeah, there's scams out there. For people that don't know anything about college. All that stuff.
Yeah.
But applying for scholarships should be free.
Yeah.
You should never have to.
I'm a
pay for it.
hypocrite for saying to sign up for scholarships because I didn't really sign up for any scholarships.
Well,
I
I
just
think-
stuck with the
yeah.
the money they gave me because of my good grades
Yeah.
and also being an Oregon resident,
Yeah.
that allowed me to get like a couple like
You
free
can
money.
always apply for scholarships every year.
throughout
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Throughout
so it
college.
doesn't have to
Yeah.
I
be.
think
Yeah.
once you have your your rates in the first like period whatever, after they can take a look and
Mhm.
see how well you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what I've learned in high school too is like there's a scholarship for anything. Like there's
Right.
a scholarship for being like a certain race. There's a scholarship for doing certain things, and that's just free money. Like, what might as well sign up for it because they're just giving you, like, yeah, basically free money.
Yeah, out to Brian's friends. This is what Brian's saying.
Yep.
So listen,
dude.
kids.
Yeah, listen to him to do those free
Yeah.
scholarships.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Especially for those kids and still in high school, those students, I'd recommend taking as much college classes as you can.
Well, there you go.
Doing like extracurricular activities because
Yeah.
those all help. And yeah, just study hard, do well in school, and that'll benefit you for college because it'll help you with like get through extra classes too. Because if you take college classes in high school, that basically counts towards college.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you'll
nice.
complete
Yeah.
classes quicker
Nice.
and
nice.
you get more things done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Brian's our spokesmodel for
I
this.
know.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes.
Just doing that.
So my experience when I had to pay for the school. So in Colombia, school is not as expensive as it's here. So my dad somehow was able to pay for my school in Colombia.
I never paid at
you
all.
go, yep, you go to college
Yeah.
for 5 years. We do semesters. So in a year we have 2 semesters. My dad didn't even go to school, so he had the same job for like 25 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's nothing fancy, and somehow he was able just to pay it all.
Provide.
He didn't spend any money on himself and things like that. He would just give me all the money
Yeah.
for
That's
college.
awesome,
So after that, I started to work. I worked throughout my college years. Like in my 3rd year, I started working, and I was able to just like pay some money, for myself. And after when I came here to the U.S., I was working too, because I did like an associate's degree type of thing.
Yeah.
And I did apply for a scholarship, but I didn't. They didn't give it to me.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I didn't win or whatever.
Yeah.
So after that, I went to another school in New York. They didn't have scholarships either, but I paid myself for all the education in the U.S. So yeah, I mean, I think it's better if you don't work when you're in school,
Mm-hmm.
because it's better that you're focused. But if you can work a little bit during the summers or things like that, that might help too.
Yeah.
For your expenses. Try not to eat out too much.
Yeah, like at Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, so other things for college, just like try to experience as much as possible. The 4 years will go by fast. So try to enjoy it as much as possible